Hi everyone, I'm Linda Reimer, one of the librarians at the Southeast Bend County Library. Welcome to the new and improved and shorter Library Connections videocast. Each week I'm going to offer 4 recommendations for your reading and audiobook listening pleasure. There will be 2 print book, ebook recommendations and 2 audiobook recommendations per week, followed by a listing of upcoming events at the library. And I will still include the New York Times bestsellers, but I'm going to 86 the streaming stuff and instead put recommendations about streaming titles and Hoopla titles on the Tech and Book Talk blog, which is found at sscltech.com. So without further ado, here's Library Connections for this week. Library Connections number 109. This is the Friday, August 5th, 2022 edition of Library Connections. Jumping right in with the top 5 fiction bestsellers for this week from the New York Times. At number 1, Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. In a quiet town on the North Carolina coast in 1969, a young woman who survived alone in the marsh becomes a murder suspect. At number 2, It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. A battered wife, raised in a violent home, attempts to halt the cycle of abuse. At number 3, Verity by Colleen Hoover. Loan Ashley is hired by the husband of an injured writer to complete her popular series, and she uncovers a horrifying truth. At number 4, Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. Tate Collins and Miles Archer, an airline pilot, think they can handle a no-strings-attached arrangement and discover they can't. And at number 5, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. A movie icon recounts stories of her loves and career to a struggling magazine writer. Moving on to the top 5 nonfiction bestsellers for this week. At number 1, The Body Keeps the Score by Bessel van der Kolk. How trauma affects the body and mind, and innovative treatments for recovery. At number 2, The Big Lie by Jonathan Lemire. The MSNBC host and White House bureau chief at Politico examines Donald Trump's continuing influence over the Republican Party. At number 3, Happy-Go-Lucky by David Sedaris. The humorist portrays personal and public upheavals of his life in its 7th decade and the world in the time of a pandemic. At number 4, Finding Me by Viola Davis. The multiple award-winning actress describes the difficulties she encountered before claiming her sense of self and achieving professional success. And at number 5, Thank You for Your Servitude by Mark Leibovitz. A staff writer at The Atlantic details how some Republicans shifted their loyalty to Donald Trump. So jumping in with the first of our 4 recommended titles for this week, it's the new Joyce Carol Oates book, Extenuating Circumstances, Stories of Crime and Suspense. Nothing is as it first appears to be, and nothing can be taken for granted in each of the 24 vividly told stories in this outstanding collection from Oates. Highlights include the tale The Revenge of the Foot, in which a college student carries out a cruelly satisfying vendetta, and Queen of the Night, which offers a hypnotically seductive tale about a 50-year-old woman's divorce and its unexpected and profoundly disturbing aftermath. The story Ladies and Gentlemen offers a decidedly creepy take on vacation cruises, while the tale Family presents a terrifying view of a dystopian future. Then we have the tale The Undesirable Table, which surprises readers when it takes a decisive step into metafiction. And also of note, The Girl Who Was to Die, a story that makes the unsettling observation, quote, "A life consists of many facts, implacable facts that you do not want to know." Oates typically leads her readers to focus on one plot element while subtly rearranging the emotional landscape, leaving them in exhilaratingly uncharted territory. Spanning the first 30 years of Oates' writing career, these stories aren't for the faint of heart, but they are a joy for anyone who appreciates the work of a master storyteller. And that's the Starred Publishers Weekly Review. Our second recommended read for this week is the new historical fiction novel, Miss Aldridge Regrets, by Louise Hare. Hare's second novel is set in 1936 London and aboard the Queen Mary. Lena Aldridge is a singer, entertainer, and a multiracial woman who is often perceived to be a white person. After a murder at the club where she works, she grabs an opportunity to escape to the bright lights of Broadway, an unbelievable offer purporting to come from an old friend of her father's. Traveling in first class is heavenly, but not without complications, including another murder. As the passengers glide ever closer to their destination, secrets unravel, including the identity of Lena's mother. With the support of the handsome bandleader Will and her own sharp wits, Lena unravels a murderous plot and heads towards a new life in New York on her own terms. The novel's ambience is spot on, something like Carola Dunn's Daisy Dalrymple, set 10 years later, or Marie Benedict's The Personal Librarian. As Lena narrates, switching from the present to the past, readers gain helpful glimpses of her backstory. Verdict: with vividly drawn characters, this exciting blend of murder mystery and historical romance is hard to put down once one starts reading. And that's the Library Journal Review. Moving along to our first audiobook recommendation for this week, this is a cozy Booked on a Feeling by J.C. Lee. The audio is read by Cindy Kay. Lizzie Overachiever Chung, Esquire, doesn't know the meaning of the word can't. That is, she doesn't until she passes out from a panic attack during her first trial. Her law firm gives her paid time off to relax, but she has no clue how. Enter Jack Parr, her childhood friend, who wants her to rediscover the iridescent joy that she once had, pre-law and college. Jack convinces her to stay with him in the family home Weldon. He's been planning to move away from his parents' loving but overprotective gaze, and more specifically away from Weldon and his family's brewery. But that can wait a few more weeks until his friend finds her footing again. But, you knew there was going to be a but, and there is one, but when an unexpected attraction flares between them. While Lizzie tries to resuscitate a failing bookstore on Weldon, the two must choose between past dreams or their forever together. Sometimes the path to the rest of your life has been in front of you all along. Isn't that the truth? I think we all know that. Moving on to our second audiobook recommendation for this week. This one's called The Puppeteer's Daughters by Heather Newton. The novel is read by Lauren Izzo. Famed puppeteer and master manipulator Walter Gray surprises his three daughters by announcing that there is a fourth at his 80th birthday party. An incomplete paternity test and a will that places a condition on each daughter's inheritance suggests that the missing daughter isn't a figment of his dementia. Jane, the eldest, is tired of her father's eccentricities. She remembers the scarcity of her childhood and doesn't want another sister to share the birthright. Rosie, born out of wedlock, sees the missing sister as her key to acceptance as a full member of the puppeteer's family, while Cora, the youngest, born after Walter achieved fame and fortune, is most concerned with extricating herself from running Walter's company so she can pursue her own life. The sisters each knew a different version of their enigmatic father, but all grew up in the presence of fairy tales, acted out with marionettes and shadow puppets. If they are to find the fourth daughter and claim the legacy their father has left them, the three must confront their fractured relationships with their father and each other. Infused with fairy tales that sometimes spill magic into the sisters' real lives, The Puppeteer's Daughter is a stunningly woven family saga about the cost and rewards of claiming a creative life. And just a tip here, if you want more listening and viewing and reading recommendations, check out the Tech and Book Talk blog, which offers several recommendation posts per month, and you can access the back catalog of Library Connections videos via the Southeast County Library's YouTube channel. Having said that, we're going to move right along to our next section, and I take great glee in saying this. I don't know why, but the next section is next week at the library, offering a brief look at the programs the library is hosting for the week ahead of us. That's the week of August 8th through the 13th. This information can also be found online. Simply visit the library's website found at ssclibrary.org and click on the big bold calendar link located near the top of the page. And just a registration note, registration is required for programs unless otherwise specified or unless the programs are of the online on-demand variety. You can register for programs through the library's website, by calling the library, or just plain dropping by. On Monday, August 8th, we've got 3 programs in Library Land, kicking things off with a new story time, Messy Monday Story Time, which runs from 10 to 11 a.m. This program will be held in Fallbrook Park. That's the park across the street from the library. This story time will be a little shorter than normal and will include extra time for a themed messy activity afterwards. Bringing a change of clothes is recommended. Then from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. we have the young adult program Mermaid Canvas Painting with Philomena Jack. Your hostess will be local artist Philomena Jack, who will lead attendees through an easy painting class with a mermaid theme. No experience is needed. It is recommended you wear clothes that you don't mind having paint on, and all supplies will be provided. Now, this is the first of 2 sessions of canvas painting with Philomena Jack. The second will be on Wednesday, August 10th, and I'll reiterate that when we get to the programs for Wednesday, August 10th. And our third program on Monday, August 8th is a special author reading. We're going to hear from Holly Hill Mangan. She will be reading from her first novel in the library's reading room, which is located right across from the circulation desk. Holly Hill Mangan is an English lit teacher at an international school in the south of France. She lives with her husband and 2 kids, a stone's throw away from the French Riviera. The author will be reading from her first novel, The House on the Lake. And just to give you an idea, this is a cool book. Here's a brief summary of the plot. An island is the last place Eve Beckett ever thought she'd end up. Deathly afraid of water, she has no memory of arriving at the forbidding Lakeview Manor on the Isle of S. Dark and dusty rooms shift location, and there's a mysterious woman only Eve seems able to see. As she learns more about the manor and its inhabitants, the question becomes not just how, but if Eve will ever leave the island. And I know what I'm reading this weekend because that sounds really good. But I digress. Let's move along to the programs on Tuesday. On Tuesday, August 9th, we have 3 programs in Library Land. The first is Adult Scrabble, which is held in the library's reading room and runs from 9 to 11 a.m. Then we have Miss Sue's Tuesday Story Time from 10 to 11 a.m. This program is held in Fallbrook Park, across the street from the library. And then finally, from 6 to 7 p.m., we have the August Drive-Through Craft. And for that, if you've registered for the program, you simply pull up in front of the library off the Tioga Avenue entrance, and you will be handed your craft for the month. On Wednesday, August 10th, we have a whole host of programs to bring to your attention, kicking things off with Dive into Kindergarten Story Time, which runs from 10 to 10:30 a.m. and is being held in Fallbrook Park. And you guessed it, this is a story time intended for little ones who are just about to start school. Then from 11 a.m. to noon, we have the Little Gather at the Corning Museum of Glass. This program is held at CMOG. And on Wednesdays during the summer, library staff will be at CMOG for each Little Gather family session, Wednesdays at 11, and will offer a make-it-yourself project to take and do at home with instructions and a supply list. Admission to the museum is free for kids and museum members. There is a fee if you're an adult and not a museum member. Then from noon to 1 p.m., it's the free grilled lunch for kids 18 and under. A hot grilled lunch provided by the Corning Painted Post School District will be provided in the area between the library and City Hall, in other words, in Civic Center Plaza. As mentioned, the lunch is free for kids 18 and under. Adults can buy a lunch for $5. The afternoon programs for Wednesday, August 10th include the very popular Kids Farmers Market from 1 to 2 p.m. The location of this program is the community room at the library. Kids can come to the farmers market at the library and pick from a free selection of delicious and healthy fruits and vegetables. You'll enter through the Chemung Street door, which is located between the edge of the library, the wall there, and the Social Security office, and exit through the lobby. You must bring your own bag. Then from 1 to 3 p.m. we have Mahjong, located in the library's reading room. And from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. it's the second Mermaid Canvas Painting with Philomena Jack program. So if you like to paint, there's a second opportunity to engage with that program. Moving on to our evening programs on Wednesday, August 10th, we have Happy Tales, Therapy Dog Story Time for Kids from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. This story time has kids reading to therapy dogs, And the location of the program is the Children's Department at the library. Then from 6 to 8 p.m. we have the Corning Adult Writers Group. This is a hybrid program held both at the library and via Zoom. To register, you contact Michelle Wells at the library. On Thursday, August 11th, we've got 3 programs at the library, starting off with Captain Dave's Magic Treasure Hunt from 1 to 1:45 p.m. The program will be held at the library, and let me tell you a little about it. Ahoy, mateys! Captain Dave has misplaced his library card somewhere at the Southeast Steuben County Library. And to find it, he'll need your help and a bit of magic. Join David Moreland, aka the Great and Powerful Dave, for this 45-minute show packed with magic, mystery, comedy, puppets, and audience participation. The show is targeted towards ages 4 through 12, but everyone is welcome. Then from 4:30 to 6 p.m. we have the Teen Dungeons & Dragons program. Led by professional Dungeon Master Tim Collins, this in-person gathering is suitable for those ages 13 through 17. All levels of experience will be welcomed in this safe space. Come to one or all gatherings. And then we have the August Tween To Go program from 6 to 7, Jellyfish Wind Chimes. So if you register for this program, you drive by the library's front entrance off of Tioga Avenue, and you'll get your wind chime kit. On Friday, August 12th, we have a number of programs to bring to your attention. The first is Science Time with Miss Abby, which runs from 10 to 10:30 a.m., and it's a Facebook program. Then at 1 p.m. is the debut of the new Library Connections video, which you can access through the library's Facebook page or YouTube channel. And then from 3 to 4 p.m. we have the monthly Adult Book Club. This program is held at the library in the conference room, and our August read is A Slow Fire Burning by Paula Hawkins. You can register for the program in any of the usual ways, and the August read you can pick up at the circulation desk at the library. Moving on to our evening programs on Friday, August 12th, kicking things off with a watercolor workshop for teens and adults with Lee O'Connell from 5 to 7 p.m. Now this program is full, so if you've already registered for the program, this is just a reminder. If you missed the registration for the program, check our calendar of events and register quickly for upcoming programs because we have a limited amount of space and supplies, so just FYI. And then moving on to a program that there's plenty of room for everybody. It's the drive-in movie night at Corning Credit Union from 8:15 to 10:30 p.m. This is at the main Corning Credit Union branch next to the Decker building on the north side. Gather the family and join us for our family favorite drive-in movie night in Corning Gaffer District's north side. We will be showing Sing 2. Tickets are $10 per car load and include 4 bottles of water, compliments of the Southeast Steuben County Library, and a bag of popcorn, compliments of Williams Toyota. So if you're in the mood for a drive-in movie next Friday night, join us at the Corning Credit Union. And briefly, here are our library programs contacts. If you have any questions about library programs, let us know. And that's the program for this week. I'll be back next week with a new edition of Library Connections. Stay cool.